Sims, and we are back with more Hakuoki Kyoto wins. And we could be getting down to the end of Heisuke's path. So we're at the end of chapter 4. We have 2 more choices left. And then chapter 5 should be his kind of path, and then we get our endings or whatever, like good ending, and then we'll go through and do our bad endings, whatever. But I don't know if we'll get through it all in this part or if we'll have another one, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, so anyway, the assassination of Ito and the destruction of the Guardians of the Imperial Tomb was later known as the Aburano Koji incident. So we'll read this. Kashitaro Ito, share. Upon hearing of his plans to assassinate Kondo, and with the ever-looming threat of him revealing the existence of the Furies, the Shinsengumi had no choice but to kill him. Aburano Koji incident. 1867, an incident involving the Shinsengumi's attack on the Guardians of the Imperial Tomb. The latter included ex-Shinsengumi members. Okay, both the Shinsengumi and guard were surprised by the sudden appearance of Satsuma troops and by the demons who accompanied them. Both parties had fallen for the Satsuma trap, and the battlefield was thrown into confusion. During the fight, Heisuke was mortally wounded and had no choice but to drink the water of life and become a fury or die. So it's slightly different depending on which. So, like, this is slightly different, the wording, than it was in Saito's path, because when we did that, it was like his fatal thing, and we're like, oh, he died, and it's like, and then he drank the water of life. Bitch! Like, as the Battle of Aburano Koji was taking place, the headquarters of the Shinsengumi came under attack from Chikage Kazama. The monstrous thing my father had made was slowly devouring the Shinsengumi. How long before the water of life swallowed them whole? Okay. So now blah, 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 blah. And normally, that would have been the part where I think, because like Saito would come back, blah, blah, blah. That would have been the part where Hijikata was like, here, take this note to Saito. And we're like, yay, we get to see our boyfriend. But now we don't, because we're here. I headed towards the quarters for the Fury Corps. Most of the Furies had been killed during Kazama's attack, which left their quarters largely empty. The Fury Corps was frightening enough, but the thought of them disappearing was even more so. After all, I knew some of the Corps members well. Did you need something? Oh, Sonnen, as you can see, the Fury Corps is hardly at its best. I can't imagine there's anything here for you. His words were understandably tight and cold. I was hoping to talk to Heisuke. Is he around? I see. You have interesting taste. I'm sorry for disturbing you at a time like this. Well, right now, Heisuke and myself are the only men here who can carry on a conversation. Given the circumstances, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised that you'd rather talk to him than me. Well, yeah, but someday we'll go down your path, don't worry. Very well, I'll go find him. You wait here. Yes, thank you. He left me there for only a few moments before he returned with Heisuke, but those moments felt like an eternity. I felt as if the blood of the Furies who died that night hung in the air around me like a thick, wet cloud. So much blood was shed, even Heisuke's. He comes out. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, I'm sorry to bother you. It's no big deal. So, why are you here? I'd only come to see him, but now that I had, I didn't know what to say. He seemed to be feeling much the same. We stood there awkwardly for a while, like two strangers thrown into conversation for the first time. I just wanted to see how you were feeling. Oh, well, all my wounds have healed. Oh, I caught myself before I said good. Heisuke's injury at Aburano Koji was not something he should have survived. I didn't need any medicinal knowledge to know that it was a mortal wound. The only reason he was speaking to me now was because the water of life had done its work. He was healed, yes, but he'd become a fury. Good hardly seemed like the right thing to say. What should I say to him? I want to be with you. That's the right answer, and that's what we're supposed to say, so that's what we're gonna... Can I stay here with you for a while? No, not just here. And not just for a while. I want to stay with you as long as I can. I'll leave if I ever get in your way. Can I? He blinked. My sudden boldness had clearly caught him off guard. What should I do? I wonder if he thinks it's weird of me to throw this at him like I did. I have to say something. What? What's so funny? I love you, Spacey. Oh, sorry. No, it's not that. Well, what is it? I was just happy, that's all. I don't really know if I'm alive or dead anymore. But even if I hadn't gotten that figured out, even if I haven't gotten that figured out yet, I don't know for sure that I'm different. I do know for sure that I'm different. Ice skate. My injuries are all healed, and I can do all the stuff I used to. But my future seems a little bleak. I was kind of freaking out. All sorts of stuff just shaking around in my head, you know? After Heisuke said that, he looked at me in a bashful way. But talking to you really cheered me up. Really? Yeah, you're pretty amazing. Thanks. Oh, that's not really anything you should be thanking me for. Besides, you used to always cheer me up too. Yeah? Well, I think you cheered me up a little more. No, you cheered me up. No, you cheered me up. Oh my god. He laughed again. His face wasn't the face of a dead man. It was his. The Heisuke I remembered. Although I couldn't affirm the existence of furies in the water of life, I was really happy to see him smile. Then, can I stay with you? Yeah, of course. Good. Oh, and not just for a little while. As long as I don't get in the way, right? I don't think I could ever think of you as being in the way. So go ahead and stick around as long as you like. Really? Yeah, I think that'd probably cheer me up the most. Thanks. Okay, I gotta go now. And then, like, he's like, wait, what? And you're like, oh, I meant, like, metaphorically, like, I'm gonna be with you forever, like, we're getting married. So we're, okay. He's like, but no! What a relief. Even if he's a fury, Heisuke is still the same Heisuke I knew. If I could help him, even just a little bit, then I'd be happy. This is so much more romance than we got out of Saito. That's all I'm fucking saying. Son of a bitch! Like, he basically put his hand, he held out our Kodachi, and we put our hand on his, and that was basically us fucking. Because that's about as far as we're going to get with him. Like, fucking A. Alright, so. And then Sanin comes in. It's like, I need your blood. I mean, I like Glass's asshole, don't get me wrong. But he's starting to, like, creep me out. Like, with being a fucking douche weasel. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the murderous stuff he does. Like, is he going to try to stab us and shit, like, when we're in love with him? It's going to be weird, right? I don't know. I'm curious. I'll stay here, that's what we're supposed to say. Nothing. I'm sorry for stopping you. Huh? Did you lose your train of thought? Whatever, then. I'm going to head back to my room. Okay. Or was this the part where we... Nah, I don't know. Anyway. Well, whatever. We're not going to go see Saito, obviously. I watched his back disappear through the door, leaving me alone in my room again. Oh, no, this was probably the part where we went to see Saito. Anyway. As much as I wanted to be helpful for everyone, if I recklessly walk about the compounds and things like earlier happened, it wouldn't be good. Maybe it's just better I don't do anything. So we don't go see Saito. As I was thinking that, the day had passed and night had fallen. Hey, here you are, Spacey. Can I come in? Harada, sure, that's fine. Yeah, sorry for coming unannounced. Damn, I'm glad you're here. I'm sick of this grumpy old wet blanket. Funny, I was thinking the same thing. I was just thinking the same thing. Is there something wrong? Oh, we just thought you could keep us company. There's nobody else to talk to. What do you mean? There are people everywhere. Sorry, the truth is, I just wanted to let off some steam, and I can't talk about this with, well, anyone else. I mean, there aren't many warriors left. The other captains are all busy. Oh, I see. I mean, it's all Kondo and Hijikata's fault to begin with. Sure can't talk to them. Oh, here we go again. The Fury Core's a bad idea. A really bad idea. We need to get rid of it before it really screws us. So Nagakura had something to get off his chest about the Fury Core. Now I understand why they couldn't talk about it with anyone. The people who knew about it were the people they blamed, and it was a secret to everyone else. I mean, it's not like I wanted Heisuke to die or anything, but can you really even call that being alive? It just seems cruel to me. Well, yes, I suppose. Every man here knows how it works. Sometimes we kill the other guys, sometimes he kills us. When we go out there, we all know we might not come back. But now they won't even let us die. I know how you feel, but I think you're taking it a little too far. I really doubt that Kondo and Hijikata just leapt into all this blind. I'm sure they gave it a lot of thought. So what thought is it then? They better not be saying they want to become daimos and have their own castle or whatever. Daimos, whatever. Whatever. Fuck it. Whatever. Dominoes. They want to be dominoes. Well, come on. You knew Kondo's dream was to become a real samurai. The hell, Sano? Are you telling me you're actually behind this crap? So, just because you have this just cause, you can mess with the water of life? Hey, I'm not saying that, am I? Look, I'm just saying that I get where they're coming from. Well, screw you then! I can't do this sober! I'm going to Shimabara! Nagakura leapt up and stormed out through the door, fuming. He stormed off so briskly that the candle in my room blew out. My room felt dark, and I heard Harada sigh a little. What should I do about Nagakura? Leave him be. I'm sure he's not going to be dumb enough to bring up the water of life there. But, well, as you can tell, he is a good guy. That was definitely not Nagakura saying that because he left, but wow. Wow, Tim. God damn it, Tim. You're making me. I would have read that in the wrong character voice if I had been paying attention. And because of that, he just can't let go of a lot of stuff. I think Harada's right. I mean, even seeing Sanan earlier this afternoon, it just feels like the Shinsengumi is slowly changing. Can I ask you one thing? What is it? Harada, what do you think about the Furies? His sigh made his bangs flow atop his brow. Aww, we got a pretty CG of him. Oh, look, he looks so adorable. Oh, don't you just want to pet his cheek and be like, it's okay, don't be sad. Oh, I can see where Shinpachi's coming from. We're forcing life into people who were supposed to die and turning them into monsters. I think it's wrong. But without that serum, Heisuke would have definitely died. And I can sort of see where Kondo and Hijikata are coming from. If the Shinsengumi goes under, if the Shogunate writes us off, Kondo and Hijikata may no longer be classified as samurai. I'm sure those two have no other way of living besides the Shinsengumi. Shinpachi is from a samurai family, so he may not understand where Kondo is coming from. So are you saying that... are you saying what's keeping everyone together isn't a weakening? It's hard to say. I mean, it could just mean that what we were working for wasn't the same in the first place. Maybe we all just had the misconception that we were all the same thing. I don't know. I know in my head that it can't be helped, but because we had such good times, it's tough. Harada was always so kind and mature and dependable. No matter to whom he was speaking, he always had their best interest in mind. And because Harada understood where Kondo and Hijikata were coming from, it might have been even harder for him. Sorry, not only did you have to watch me deal with Shinpachi, but now you gotta hear me vent. Oh, please, I don't mind. It makes me happy if I can help in any way, so please don't worry about me. I can't really do anything else. Hey, Spacey, what is it? You gotta get out of the habit of putting yourself down so much. You're not here because you can't do anything. I mean, you were forced and put in confinement here. He reached his hand tenderly towards my head and patted the top of it. That's fucking adorable. Like, pat. Oh! We got romancy points with him and we weren't even trying. At least, I feel a lot better that I could talk to you. Even if you can't do anything, there are times where it's good to cheer someone up just by being there. Really? His words were so kind. Could I trust them? I'm not that witty enough to lie without showing it. You know me. Yeah, I know, but... Anyways, it's not good for me to stay here too long, so I'm gonna head out. Oh, sure. Thank you so much. I'm the one that should thank you. Good night, Spacey. I shouldn't stay here too long. Also, there's no fucking candle in the room, so people are gonna walk in and we're sitting here in the dark. Like, it's not what you think. It's just... And then nobody gives me matches. He patted my head a few times. That's adorable. He just... Pat, pat, pat. Not too hard! And he left my room. My room fell silent again. If Harada was ever faced with a situation where he decided to drink the serum or not, I wonder what he would do. Would he drink the water of life just like Heisuke did? I don't think Heisuke had a choice. They probably forced it on him. Shinsengumi, once solid, now wavered. Okay. Oh, are we already? Oh, wait. I just read the note in the guide that was like, aren't you a little short for a samurai? Oh wow, is that the good ending? I don't know. I would assume it's got to be the good ending. I just read the little note the person who wrote the guide put in here about Heisuke, and it was basically said like, you had reservation about Heisuke based on certain other games about the Shinsengumi that I'd previously played. Lucky he isn't like that in this game. So I'm like, wow, there's other. I mean, because I know, like, there's historical stuff in this, and like, I don't know how much of it is like true and like what. And obviously they have to fictionize it, but I think the character names are like actual people. Because I was actually watching. It's funny. After I played Saito's Route, right? I was watching an anime, and they were like doing something. They were talking about the Shinsengumi, and they were wearing like the blue robes. They were like cosplaying, and I was like, well, that's fucking weird. And they mentioned Hijikata, and I was like, oh. So I mean, like, I knew that there was some like historical aspects to this and whatever, but I don't know how much of it. Like, I don't. If they tried to like, okay, we got as much of the facts as we have, and we just kind of fill in the blanks, because obviously, you only know so much about what happens. We have this information, and we kind of just work within, and we tweak some things and change something. Like, I'm pretty sure there weren't demons, like whatever. But I didn't realize, like, I didn't really think about like the characters being like, this is actually a real person, and then we turned our character. You know what I mean? So I didn't really realize that they kind of did that, and obviously they kind of probably created their personalities, because if you think about it, from like the late 1800s, well, mid-late, starting to get into the late, like, they probably, I mean, I highly doubt they were like, we totally have their personalities down. It's not like they had Instagram back then where they were like, hashtag pissed off, hashtag Shimabara, Facebook, where you were like, no, Hijikata just looks angry all the time because his posts are all angry. You know what I mean? They didn't have that shit. So. Yeah, like, samurai book. It's like Facebook, but only for samurais. So, like, it's a secret thing. You know what I mean? So but then I think that's funny. So then it's like, oh, so there's obviously other games. Probably. I mean, I haven't researched to figure that out, what I would assume. So then they must have used the same, like, characters, or some of them, and, like, apparently, I guess in those other games that Heisuke's a douche weasel. I'm just guessing from the sound of that, and that just makes me sad. And it's like, oh. And, like, even though you're like, yeah, I could totally play it. No. How could you, like, I guess if I hadn't played this one and I'd played other ones first. Although, that's not true. I do have another one. I think I have another one. But I think it was, like, one of those mixed rated one. Like, I bought, like, a bulk game that were, like, half of them were, like, rated well and the other half were, like, rated terribly. And I just want to play the terrible games. And I think it's about samurais. I don't know if it's necessarily about the Shinsengumi, but that would be interesting to, like, play that one too and be like, oh my god, compared to this. Because Idea Factory, Design Factory, they make motherfucking good games, okay? Can we just not? They're fucking amazing. They just really need to, their international branch that, like, localizes games, needs to localize more of them. Or they need to, let Axis localize more of them, because motherfucker, we need more of these games. They have so fucking many. There are so many. The anime that I was watching is actually, I was like, is there a game for this? There is, and it's like 10 fucking years old, but I'm like, I'd still play the hell out of it. But with a few reservations, like, but only if this happens. But you can't, obviously, because it was from back in the PlayStation 2 days. And I don't know if it was ever localized. It might have been. But PlayStation 2 days. Hello. Does not, I mean, that was like 10 fucking years. I was like, my god, it's like 100 years ago before half you kids were born! I mean, seriously, so that makes me sad. And I'm like, see, it's shit like this, though! Oh my god! Reissue it! But with certain specifications. But it's like, oh my god. Anyway. December 1867. The Imperial Restoration shook Kyoto to its core. The shogun and his government suddenly found the ground giving way beneath their feet. Domains that had long opposed the shogunate began to gather in Kyoto, with the Satsuma at their head. Yoshinobu Tokugawa fled to Osaka and was soon followed by more and more of his ministers and associates. The shogunate had begun to withdraw from Kyoto, and the Shinzengumi followed. Our standing orders were to provide protection for Yoshinobu, who had taken up residence in Osaka Castle. Yoshinobu, yeah. For that reason, among others, our headquarters was moved to the Fushimi Magistrate's office, situated along a route between Kyoto and Osaka. We might not skip anything in this chapter because it's different, but the moon looked somehow different from the magistrate's office than it had from elsewhere in the city. What's going to happen to us? There was no one there to answer me. The rebel soldiers were growing more restless by the minute. It seemed that the war was inevitable now. The only question was when. If one listened very carefully, it almost seemed as if one could hear the footsteps of war coming closer. Closer. Well, you're the footsteps of something. There was no mistaking it. Those were footsteps. I turned around in panic, glancing nervously in the direction I'd heard the steps coming from. Morning! What's with that look? I struggled desperately to regain my composure. Oh, no, it's nothing. Morning. Did you just get up? Yeah, just a few minutes ago. I guess it isn't really morning, huh? It's weird, though, I get sleepy just before the sun comes up, and then as soon as it's dark, I wake up. His smile turned bitter for just the barest fraction of a second. Heisuke had been a fury for 2 months, which meant he'd been sleeping during the day. I hadn't been able to see him as much, and I was beginning to get a little lonely. How are you feeling? Any changes? Nah, I feel normal. Like, really normal. And it doesn't feel like anything's changed, honestly. Hijikata's the same hard-ass he always was, for instance. Shin and Sano keep harping on my case for being the same idiot after coming back to life, and when I tell them to shut up, all they do is laugh. I was pretty sure that was just their way of trying to tell him that he was still the same Heisuke he'd been before. When it looked like you might die, Harada and Nagakura were really worried. I had been too, of course, but that was neither here nor there. Besides, there are a lot of people who think you are dead, and they're really sad about it. Oh, the guys from my unit, huh? Yeah, I wish I could tell them I'm actually still alive. Officially, Heisuke was dead, and his funeral had been well attended. He was clearly missed. I found myself wondering, if I were to die, would my father mourn me? Huh, what's the matter, Spacey? You look down. Huh? Oh, I'm sure your family is worried too. My family? He frowned suddenly and looked at me for a moment before turning away. Had I said something I shouldn't have? I wonder if I had offended him in any way. Hey, what's the matter? You know when you came to Kyoto you told us you were looking for your family? For Koto, I mean. Yeah, what about it? Well, to tell you the truth, I got a little jealous. I'm not really allowed to look for my parents. Not allowed? Do you mean that you can't find them? Guess I might as well tell you. Oh, we're getting his backstory, guys. There's a pseudomain in, Ise. Ise, right? Pseudomain. A domain governed by the, whatever. Toto. Oh! Although he was an opposition... Daimyo. Daimyo. It's such a hard word. He was given the same respect as his predecessor. I think I've heard of it. Well, I don't blame you. It's pretty far from Edo. So that pseudomain is also known as the Toto domain. Toto domain! Toto domain! Another name for the pseudomain. Wait. So it's a domain with the same last name as you? Oh god, Spacey, let's be derpier. I'll be like, so wait a minute. Yeah, my old man's the big guy. I don't know much about him, though. I'm just his bastard, I guess. Oh! Heisuke had called him the big guy. I mean, if it's the name that's being used for the whole domain, maybe he's the feudal lord then. Anyway, he sends me some cash every month, as long as I don't go looking for him. Hush money, I guess. Don't go looking for him. I thought to myself how I would have felt if I were in his shoes. To have a father who'd send me money without even knowing what kind of a person he is. Or not to be allowed to speak with him, let alone take time out of my life to see him. I mean, okay, so in the situation that Heisuke's in, like, I don't know my father. My father just boned some chick. Well, my mom. Okay, so let's not call her a whore, but, like, whatever. She could have been, like, a nice lady, fell in love. Oh, whatever, wonder if they had an affair. And then he like, bye. And then she's like, now I'm pregnant. Fuck. Not her fault. Like, whatever. Okay, shit happens. And then he's like, don't come looking for me, kid. Like, my dad's a dick, but he sends you money. So it's kind of like, I mean, he could have just been like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not my kid, man. And just disowned you completely instead of like sending you money. But then why do you have the same last name? Why was your mother like, I'm giving him your last name, God damn it. He's a bastard. He should have his mom's last name. His mom's like, ha! I know where your father is. I mean, she was like, I gave you his last name so that he'd have to pay you money. Like, I should keep it quiet. I couldn't imagine how I'd deal with it. Yet Heisuke showed no signs of remorse or anger. He laughed, but it was flat and without humor. He wore a dejected expression before he spoke. I was just an accident for him. So yeah, I don't think my parents would be sad to hear I died. Hell, the old man will probably throw a party. He doesn't have to waste his money keeping some brat quiet anymore. Heisuke, that's true. He's like, damn it! I'm really upset I don't get my fucking hush money anymore. I'd be sad because he's probably getting a lot of money, but we're supposed to say, you know that's not true. You know that's not true. I didn't know what kind of people Heisuke's parents might have been. They could have been good or bad or indifferent. I mean, you think his mom actually probably cared. You know what I mean? But right then, I felt they couldn't be completely unconcerned with whether or not he was dead. After all, they were his parents. Maybe their circumstances meant they couldn't be with you as they'd like. But I'm sure your parents loved you very much. What kind of evidence do you have for that? I only just told you about them, and pretty much all I said was they exist. Look, it's been a long time. I don't really need comforting, okay? You may not be able to see your father, but what about your mother? My mother? I haven't seen her since running away from home back in Edo. I mean, she'd never even told me who my father was. To be fair to her, though, I was a kid back then, so I totally took everything out on her. Back in Edo, I used to help my father out by helping to deliver babies at the local clinic, so I'm a little familiar with how it all works, but those women risk their lives to give birth. There are many mothers who sometimes even die after successfully giving birth. So when your mother gave birth to you, Heisuke, she'd walked in preparing for everything, even death. And besides, for your father, you're still getting money every month, aren't you? That means whoever's sending it at least wants you to have enough money to be happy, right? If they didn't care whether or not you lived or died, then why send you money in the first place? The theory I'd formed that his parents wanted him but couldn't, they knew money was a poor substitute for family, it seemed reasonable. He was quiet for a few minutes, but at last his face burst out in a grin and he laughed. Aw. Man, people ever tell you you're way too optimistic? No, I mean, I don't think... What's so funny? Nothing. Oh, goodness. Well, I guess for some crazy reason, if for some crazy reason you are right, then maybe there's someone out there who's sad I'm dead. Then maybe someday you can tell them the truth. That you're alive. I'm sure they'd like that. Yeah. Maybe my words got through to him. Heisuke's mood had seemed a little brighter, even if it were just a tad. Then he looked earlier. The new year came and went. It was January 3rd. I don't think anything in this chapter is skippable. Before we'd even had time to let the excitement of a new year soak in, war was upon us. One of the major routes from Osaka to Kyoto ran by the Fushimi magistrate's office. A number of soldiers were traveling to Kyoto by that particular route one day when they found themselves confronted by Susumu soldiers. Fighting broke out, and before long, the battle had spread to the magistrate's office. The Susumu had already set up their men on the high ground and spent most of the day raining cannon fire on the Shinsengumi, and anyone else unfortunate enough to be in range. So we dealt with that when we were in Saito's path. As the light began to fade, the guns on the hill gradually fell silent, and it seemed that the day's battle was over. The men guarding the magistrate's office let out a great sigh of relief. You still alive, Sano? Barely. I really thought we were done for. He was practically raining bullets and cannonballs for a while there. Bastards. Think they're so great just because they got the high ground. Send the Fury Corps out at night. I just imagine. That's how it sounds when they... Whatever, anyway. Guns are for chumps, alright? Real man uses a sword. He spoke for everyone there. The bombardment had gone all day with no respite, and the vaunted skills of the Shinsengumi meant little if they couldn't get close enough to their enemies to strike with a sword. Nagakura and the rest had done their best to protect the magistrate's office, but they had been forced into an entirely defensive battle, and it had little to show for it. What's going to happen now? We've been at a disadvantage thus far. I miss you. But now that night's fallen, we can turn the tables. Their guns will be difficult to aim in the dark. We can't afford to miss this chance. We must counterattack. Saito's right. Hijikata, what were our losses today? Honestly, bad. If we miss our chance tonight, tomorrow will only be worse for us. We have to use tonight to attack enemy camp. And it's finally time to take the fight to them. We aren't cut out for this defensive shit. To the front lines! I agree. If these gun battles continue, our position will only deteriorate. Our biggest problem is just going to be getting together enough men. A lot of my guys are out of commission. Yeah, man, sure wish we had Kondo or Soji right now. Kondo had been shot before the new year and had gone to Osaka to recover under Dr. Masumoto's care, along with Okita. He was doing much better, but he was still in no condition to fight. Guess we'll have to use the Fury Corps. They should still be fresh. I'm sure Kondo would have done the same thing. The Fury Corps? Why so surprised, Toto? We've been chosen. At last we've been given our chance to shine. Oh, yeah, I guess we have, huh? There was something strange in his voice. Is something wrong? Oh, no, I just hadn't really thought about how I'm part of the Fury Corps. I mean, I know I am. I guess it just hadn't really hit me yet. Well, time to make up for all that sleeping during the day. Awesome, way to go, Heisuke. Let's get ready for... The roar of a cannon interrupted Nagakura and the room immediately fell silent. Are they here already? We leapt to our feet at the sound of a second report, followed almost immediately by the crack of splintering wood. Hello, it's nighttime, bitches! I clapped my hands over my ears instinctively, and when I pulled them away, Hijikata was already issuing orders. Sounds like they've got us surrounded. Damn it! Alright, let's move. We gotta push them back. Just as Hijikata had guessed, Satsuma troops had surrounded the magistrate's office. The cannon blew the gate open, and the soldiers were already streaming through the breach. Ah! Heh! So they decided to come pay us a visit, huh? Well, that suits me fine. Now I don't have to walk my ass out there. Shinpachi Nagakura, captain of the Shinsengumi 2nd Division, coming at ya. Go, boy. He grinned and set off for the gate with a handful of other men. Sanan drew his own sword and looked over at Heisuke. Well, let's get going, Toto. Time to show these Imperial fools why they should learn to fear the fall of night. His smile sent a cold shiver down my spine. I felt bad for being suspicious of him, but Sanan had changed. The man I'd met long ago was someone I would have trusted with Heisuke, but Sanan the Fury was scary, and yet we're gonna romance him. Fun! Hold on, Sanan. What is it? We're short on men. You think you can leave Heisuke here? What? Heisuke, I want you to keep an eye on Spacey here, alright? I'm sure she'd rather be protected by you than a random warrior of ours. Yes, of course. Maybe Harada was looking out for me? That alright with you, Sanan? Understood. Alright, then I'm gonna go back up Shinpachi, so I'm leaving this place to you. I suppose it doesn't much matter what you do. I mean, look around us. The front line is everywhere. He drove his sword through a nearby Satsuma soldier in one lightning-fast strike and laughed. The Fury Corps followed behind him, crying loudly as they charged into battle. Fury Corps, follow me. Let them use their guns all they want. They're nothing compared to us. Oh, he looks crazed. Oh, that's going to be a fun path. He looked like death. I shivered. Heisuke must have noticed, coming over beside me. Stay close, Spacey. I'll keep you safe, but you have to stick with me. And that was all that he had time to say before the battle was upon us. Guys. Blood and bullets fell like rain, and all around us were the cries of the wounded and dying. Damn it, they just keep coming! You alright, Spacey? You're not hurt, are you? Yes, I'm fine. Are you okay? The battle had been going on for some time, and he'd been hit by both guns and swords in several places. Don't worry about me. Blood still leaked from his wounds, but the flow was quickly lessening, and his wounds were closing themselves. I'm not human anymore, remember? This kind of stuff isn't enough to kill me. What? And something happened. Huh? What's the matter? Is something bothering you? No. Heisuke didn't even realize. I was pretty sure, but what happened was... The bullet skidded against the side of Heisuke's shoulder, ripping his kimono and splattering blood. Damn! Heisuke! I reached out to staunch the flow of blood, but before I could, the wound closed. No, I'm fine. This heals instantly. Heisuke's glance lingered momentarily on his now-healed wound. For a moment, I saw sadness in his eyes. Seriously, I'm nothing more than a monster. Swords and bullets got nothing on me. Then I heard another gunshot. Why don't you get it already? Guns don't work. Go away! All of you! Hurry up and get the hell out of here! It happened again, and this time I saw it. For a moment, his hair was white. But that wasn't all. Gah! Human bodies are so inconvenient. Once injured, your movements get so dull. Why then was a grin beginning to stretch its way across his face? He's going evil because he smells blood. There's only one left, huh? That was pretty easy. Heisuke licked the blood that splattered onto his face. Oh god. Now he wants blood. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna... His grin reminded me of the grotesque smile I'd seen on the face of a fury mad for blood. I felt terror rise like fire in my breast, and before I knew it, I was crying out to him. Heisuke, that's enough! Let's go back now! What are you talking about? There's still more, right? Where's the next one? Where's the blood? Oh! There could be no doubt about it now. His hair was white as snow, and his eyes shone with a hideous thirst for blood. Heisuke pulled his sword from the stomach of the late Sasuma soldier with a wet, sickening sound. He lifted his hand, covered in gore, to his face, and stretched out his tongue. No, Heisuke, you can't! I threw my arms around him and tried desperately to pull his arm down and away. What are you doing, Spacey? It was a stupid thing to do, and I knew it. I knew quite well just how dangerous and uncontrollable furies could be. But I couldn't bring myself to believe that Heisuke could be like that. I cursed myself for not trying to stop him sooner. It's all right now. There are no enemies left. There's no one left for you to fight, so please stop, Heisuke. At first he looked at me with anger written plain across his face, furious that I had tried to restrain him, but then his eyes caught on the blood covering his hand and sword. What did the hell was I trying to do just now? I saw blood and lost my senses, and... He took one wavering step, then another. He backed away from me. When he turned back to look at me, his face was twisted with grief, fear, and most of all, despair. I'm sorry. I can't hear the word despair without thinking... It's Monokuma. Oh. Spacey, I don't think I can take this anymore. I feel like I get a little bit less human every day. It's freaking me out. And I want to drink blood all the time. It's driving me crazy. He looks small, frightened, and sad. It's going to be okay, Heisuke. You're going to be fine. You're still human. Now I'm... Evening looks like morning to me. The moon's the sun. I'm covered in blood. The smell, how it feels. The warmth. It feels good. Of course it does, Toto. That's how it should be. Trust your instincts. Sonnen? There's no reason to hold back. If you desire blood, then you should drink it. How else can you quench your thirst? Sonnen! With dark eyes, Sonnen invited Heisuke. He looked nothing like a human. Stop it, Sonnen! You're going to confuse him! Confuse? No, I don't think so. What I'm suggesting is only natural. If your body needs blood to survive, then why shouldn't you oblige it? Telling a Fury not to drink blood is like telling a human not to eat. Are you saying you'd rather he starve to death? Well, I guess if there's no other way to rid yourself of the pain, then you'd have no other choice, but we aren't human anymore. We're Furies. I can understand the pain he feels in a way you never will. In a sense, Heisuke and I are brothers, you might say. He was right. As a Fury, he would know what Heisuke was going through far better than I could. But the Heisuke that I knew wasn't the type of person to accept readily the idea of drinking the blood of humans. Just then, Sanan, I appreciate that you're sticking up for me, but she knows me pretty well. Probably more than you know me, Sanan. Heisuke. The pain he was feeling had brought him to his looked up. God damn it, Tim. The pain he was feeling had brought him to his knees. I'm like, and then he looked up at Sanan and me with a grin. Heisuke, are you alright? Does it hurt? He must have bloodlust. He smelled all that blood. Bloodlust, a term used in reference for the ravenous thirst for blood that one develops after becoming a Fury. No. Heisuke looked pained, but he tried desperately to smile and looked up. Don't worry, okay? I'm not going to drink blood. That's not something a human would do, right? You still consider yourself human? A shame you aren't. Binding yourself to human morals and values is foolish. Jesus Christ, he's going to be real pleasant when we date him, huh? Heisuke glared deeply at Sun, and maybe he won't be such a fucking, monster when we go down his path, because we'll be able to, heal him with our love. I don't know. But Sanan didn't flinch or even react, really, in the slightest by Heisuke's gesture. I, too, was once where you are now. I understand what you feel. If you're determined to refrain from blood, here. What's this? A medicine Dr. Masumoto made for us. It can suppress the bloodlust. Medicine, used to treat Fury bloodlust, prepared by Dr. Masumoto. Really? I paused for a moment. Could such a thing really exist? But a muffled groan of pain from Heisuke brought me back to my senses. If I could help him, there was nothing to contemplate. Thank you, Sanan. I'm hardly doing him a favor. This is a temporary measure at best. In the end, it'll likely only prolong his suffering. The Fury's pain will never truly depart until he drinks blood. Then he turned and walked off, but I had better things to do than watch him go. Heisuke's hair turned white again, and his eyes were now a deep red. He moaned in pain. I had to do something to help him. Make him endure it. That seems cold. Make him endure it. Give him blood, give him medicine, make him endure it. I would have said give him the medicine, right? But, according to the guide, make him endure it. Oh. Give him blood or medicine actually gives you the bad ending. Well, if you choose a different option for, when we were talking about his parents, if we say, that means you're free, and then we give him medicine, it's a bad ending. So maybe it'll kill him. Huh, make him endure it. He just said he didn't want to drink blood. That's what he told me. If that's what Heisuke wants, then I must do my best to honor it. It's okay. Don't worry. Heisuke was smiling, but I could see the cold sweat dripping down his forehead. He'd never gotten like this before, and even during the days of his training sessions, he kept his composure well. Hey, Spacey, can you go over there for a second? I don't want you to see this part of me. Heisuke, I was too concerned to leave his side, but even then, please, let me know if there's anything I can do for you. I walked away from him, hanging out a little distance away, but I kept him in view. Damn it! Why does it hurt so much? I could hear her suffering from where I stood, and it filled me with sadness. Heisuke! Heisuke! It'll be alright, Spacey. I won't lose to this. I bit my lip. Time passed and I prayed for his bloodlust to pass. All I could pray was for his safety. Before long, the magistrate's office was in flames and we were forced to retreat. Even that was nearly a failure as well. The Imperial Army's weapons were far more advanced than anything we'd seen before, and we didn't know how to counter them. Our retreat degenerated into chaos, and Heisuke and I found ourselves separated from the rest of the Shinsengumi. There was no way for us to know who else might have survived, but we both knew where those who had would go. Osaka Castle. Yoshinobu was there, as was Kondo. What other destination could there be? Heisuke and I chose to go through the forest and thereby avoid the Imperial Army, but it was January and the forest was dark and cold. Well, here you go. So we know we're on the good ending because the unrequited love ending, make him endure it. Well, okay. We don't really know until we get the next choice, but the make him endure it, give him blood, give him medicine, is basically where it ends on either the bad ending or the unrequited love ending, which is also a bad ending if you think about it, because he's basically like, okay, bye, we're leaving and you stay here. Okay. January the 4th. Okay, we read that already. Are you doing all right, Spacey? I'm fine. I'd done my best not to cause any more worry for Heisuke, but it was a cold January and there was no light out. We were surrounded by a freezing forest. We almost seemed imprisoned by the trees. All was still, and the only things moving were me and Heisuke, paving the way ahead of me. Usually I'd pick an easier path to walk, but we can't afford the Susumu Choshu troops to find us, so we can't afford for them. So hang in there. I'm fine, don't worry about me. How about you, Heisuke? Are you okay? You've been walking a lot too. Of course I'm okay. I'm a city boy at heart, but the forest ain't too bad either. No, I mean your fury thing. He's been taken by the bloodlust during the he'd been taken by the bloodlust during the battle at the magistrate's office, but since then he'd seemed fine. Still, there's no guarantee that it wouldn't happen again. In fact, it was very likely that it would, and that worried me. He must have felt my eyes on him, because he sighed and lowered his sword from hacking away the underbrush. I don't want blood. I was just thinking about Sanin. Sanin? He'd become a fury long before Heisuke, so he'd been dealing with the bloodlust much longer. How is he coping with it? Heisuke turned and looked at me, and I could see that the very same thoughts were going through his head. He leaned closer to me and spoke in a whisper, as if he were afraid someone might be listening in. I think Sanin's been drinking blood. I think that on nights he goes out on patrol with the Fury Corps, he drinks blood from the men they kill. What? Don't you think that's a little far-fetched? Well, remember when the Fury Corps got into fights, and their victims always seemed to have more sword cuts than they should have? I think that was them trying to cover up what they were doing. Oh no. There was no denying that his argument made sense. I knew that there was something more to what Heisuke was saying, that he knew something, but I didn't want to believe it. I'd only met and known Sanin from what I'd seen of him since first living with the Shinsengumi. And perhaps more importantly, I knew just how much the Shinsengumi captains trusted him. I'm a fury. Now I understand. If nobody was there to stop me, there's a good chance I'd end up doing the same thing too. Aww. I remember what it felt like at Aburana Koji. My chest hurt, and I could hardly breathe. Everything looked kind of dark. I wasn't thinking, you can't die until you see justice done, or anything like that when I drank the water of life. The truth is, I was just scared. I didn't want to die. So that's why I went for the water of life. The wind whipped his hair across his face, hiding it. I kept silent. Whatever his reason was for telling me all this, probably wasn't to get me to give him advice. I became a fury so I could live. And now I'm wishing I'd never done that. Am I worth surviving at the cost of drinking other people's blood? I can't find an answer to that. He laughed again, but it was easily the saddest sound I'd ever heard. I feel like this is just when I left the Shinsengumi to go with Ito. I thought it was the right choice for Japan, or at least that's what I told myself. But in the end, I couldn't even tell if Ito was the right choice anymore. When I heard that they were plotting to put the blame on Shinsengumi for Ryoma Sakamoto's assassination, I couldn't stop them at the end. I mean, I chose my own path, but every time I feel like I made the wrong decision, I regret it and I just want to give up. I'm always like this. It's pretty pathetic. You're not the only person who does that. What? I couldn't stay silent any longer. Aw, I reached for him, and when our hands meet, I felt him shiver. When our hands met, I felt him shiver. I do, and I'm sure all the other guys have regretted their choices sometimes too. I'm sure everyone just doesn't show it. I felt him try to pull away, but my hand wrapped around his. Sometimes, all I can think about is the things I've done that I regret. There are days when I hate myself. His hand felt cold, and I gripped it tighter. He didn't pull away. When I was still in Edo, working at my father's clinic, I remember there being a patient who had an incurable illness. When they learned about their illness, they were desperately frustrated, only focusing on the pain and unfairness of it all. But one day, this person stopped saying those things. I remember they'd said, "This morning, I threw grains in the yard, and sparrows came, and I found a beautiful flower in the yard." Whenever something good had happened, this person would talk about it. I think they realized that the good parts in life make living precious. I think that's how we get through life. I'm happy, you know? You might be a fury, but you're still alive. From the bottom of my heart, I'm glad Aberano Koji wasn't the last time we saw each other. I didn't want him to die, no matter what. Even if that meant he had to become a fury. Sorry, I guess I'm kind of selfish, huh? I knew how much pain I knew how much pain you're dealing with. I know how much pain you're dealing with, Heisuke, and yet I'm still happy. I wasn't sure if I could muster a good smile, but the smile I shared with Heisuke was the best one I could give him at that moment. Yeah, I guess you are kind of selfish. So I think it's only fair for you to let me be selfish. What are you talking about? I want you to stay with me. When we're together, that makes me happy. Does that mean he didn't mean forever, did he? No, surely he meant until we were out of the forest. Or something. But my attempts to temper my expectations meant nothing to my heart, which beat rapidly against my chest. See, this is like we're at least getting the romance. Like, we know he loves us. Saito was just like, he just nodded at us and walked away, and we're like, now is like, what? Are you sure? I mean, you're really suffering right now. I couldn't do anything to help you. Couldn't do anything. Are you serious? Man, you're even slower than I thought. Huh? I stared at him dumbfounded, but he only laughed. After a moment, he looked at me, and though his laughter faded, his grin did not. Thanks, Spacey. I think if you weren't here, I would have gone nuts a long time ago. Guys, I'm gonna fucking faint. Like, he let go of my hand and stood, then turned and held it out. This time he was making the move. I felt happy and I took his hand back. All right, we gotta hurry. If we don't get there soon, they're all gonna get lonely. Right. Okay, I gotta be honest, I knew he wasn't like one of my favorites in the beginning, but this is a really good path. And like I'm not like, okay, whatever, blah. Like, it's really good. And you're like, oh, you know, I mean, I know that happens. Like the guys that aren't your favorites still end up having good paths, you know? But every once in a while, you know, you get when you're like, not my favorite in the path. I mean, the path was fine, but I still feel nothing. But like, I wouldn't say like, he's going to be my favorite. You know what I mean? Like every once in a while there's a path and you're like, oh my God, he's my favorite now. I never would have expected it. It's not like that, but I still almost feel like in a way we get a little more out of him and his path than we did with Saito's path. Like I feel really bad about that because like Saito's still like, I still love you because you're the quiet, like little shy, like you don't talk much and I made you a snow bunny and it was adorable, but all we got out of you is you put your hand on mine. Or I touched your hand. I don't remember, but it was just hand touching and it was like, okay. And that was it. And it's like, what the fuck? It's been 4 years. Get in this room and take me, damn it. At least kiss me. Something. Hug me. Hold me close. Kiss my forehead. I don't know. I mean, for God's sake, Sano patted us on the head. That was more action than we got out of Saito when he's in love with us. I just don't. I'm saying. But this, at least, we kind of know. You know how he feels. Like, honestly, I know in Saito's path. We know because we know we have full thing. But it's still one of those, like, If I were her really in that situation, I'd be like, does he like me? Or is he just being nice to me? Like, he's like, look, if you come with us, it's going to be dangerous. I'm just saying. And you're like, do you want me to go with you? Because it seems kind of like, I don't know how to read that. Like, I don't know. And this, you're like, nah, he digs us. Oh, he's in love with us. We're in love with him. And again, we as the people playing the game, or me playing the game and you watching, our outsiders watching, we know that he's in love with us because we have full bloom and we knew this, and that's how we knew that with Saito, right? But if you just look at the ending and the way it happened, it was like, but is it? If you were her, you'd be like, what the fuck? I don't even know what's going on. I don't know. It didn't matter how far away Osaka Castle was. So long as I was with Heisuke, everything would be all right. That was when I heard them. There! Shogunate soldiers! Heisuke! I know, come on! Dun, 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 dun. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to end it here. I know we could go a little bit longer, but I'm going to think we're not going to have too much because we're going to get to Osaka Castle, right? We're going to have the little conversations, blah, blah, blah. And then he's going to take us with you know what? Forget it. Let's just do a little bit longer. I just don't want the next part to be super short, but we still have to do 2 endings, which, and then we still do our ending. So we'll go for a few more minutes and we'll just see if we get through this or if hopefully this doesn't take too long. Otherwise we'll stop in the middle of it. Normally we try to stop at a good spot, but I'm going to stop in a bad spot probably in the middle of the action and leave you hanging. But Heisuke pulled me through the woods as the voices of our pursuers echoed behind us. The forest reflected the sound in such a way that at times it felt like we'd been surrounded. Heisuke gripped my hand tighter. Don't worry, I'm with you, and they can't shoot at us here. Right. I mean, we'll heal fast, it's okay. Eventually, the voices behind us began to fade. It seemed we'd finally lost them when a new problem appeared. A far, far worse problem. Who would have thought I'd run into the 2 of you here? I knew it. Kazama! Amagiri! What are you doing here? 2 of the people I least wanted to see had been waiting for us, and we'd run right into them. This war is approaching its climax. I didn't want to take the risk that you might die somehow in the coming conflagration. After all, this fool with you is useless. He'll doubtlessly abandon you the moment he's faced with any real difficulty. Shut your hole, pal! That's her boyfriend. I never abandoned her to save my own ass. No way in hell! Aw. That's so romantic and beautiful. Aw. He stepped between Kazama and myself and reached for his sword. Will you need my assistance? Are you mocking me, Amagiri? I can't forgive that, Not even from you. Do you really think I could ever lose to this runt? My apology. Heisuke leapt forward, not giving the demon time to finish. See, we're going to end right in the middle of this battle. He moved so fast I could barely even see him, but Kazama seemed to have no such difficulty. You think you could win with that level? Kazama calmly dodged Heisuke's attack. Damn it! But he's getting, hits on, right? Their swords met with a metallic clang, and for a few seconds they fenced back and forth. You are too slow. Then, without a word, Kazama simply grabbed Heisuke by the face. Ow! Gah! Oh, that was supposed to be Heisuke, not Chicago, but anyway. And you're too weak. Because they let Tim, the terrible typist, do this shit. Too pathetic to be your protector. You've already lost. 1. He slammed Heisuke's head into the forest floor. 2. Stop, Kazama! Let go of Heisuke! I screamed out, straining my throat. Out of my way. This is your punishment, dear. Ah! Kazama kicked me dead in the stomach and I slammed into the ground. 3. Oh, God. Heisuke was covered in his own blood. Kazama grabbed the neck of his kimono, then tossed Heisuke to the side as if he were a doll. Do you see the different strength between you and me? Now be gone. Heisuke! Heisuke! skate. I grabbed a hold of his face, trying to shake him. I'm fine. This will heal quickly. Ice skate. My face was becoming hot, and tears began to well in my eyes as I wiped the bloodstains on his face. I told you it's going to go long now. Just then, what happened just then? I'm going to end this here. So, sorry to cockblock you. Just so you know, it's a cockblock for me too, because I am not recording anymore after this. This is the last part I'm recording for the night. So I'm not going to know what happens till tomorrow, just like you. My tomorrow is going to be way earlier than your tomorrow, but I still have to wait 24 hours, just like you do. So, well, a little bit less, because, you know, I'll record this a couple hours earlier than 24 hours, but still, whatever. Like, still have to wait like 21, 22 hours. Anyway, so I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.